will be reading a few times throughout the night. I'm going to be reading a collection of short personal narratives that I wrote called On the Subject of the Universe, and they're just short little lighthearted looks at the universe that we live in and the strange things that happen in it. On the subject of time, it is a well-known fact that time, as we perceive it, is just an illusion. However, for an illusion, there are a surprising number of things to say about it. The illusion we call time has existed since the dawn of intelligent life. It was created to give a sense of scale to the changes in the universe, as in, on this date the universe began, on this date it will end, and sometime in between the Mayans decided to play a practical joke on some superstitious people in the future. Of course, the Mayans did actually know when the universe was going to end, but they weren't able to make their calendars long enough to mark it down. Partially due to the lack of space, and partially due to most of them being killed by disease and the like when the Spanish arrived. Time does exist, though not as we perceive it. From our point of view, time looks broad, abstract, and uncontrollable. However, with the right equipment, time can be manipulated just as easily as matter can. Time is stretched and contorted by gravity just as matter is, and it even has certain properties of matter. For instance, because of World War II, the early 1900s weigh heavily on the minds of many people. The time we live in right now is called the present, or at least that's what it would be called if time actually existed, which it doesn't. However, the fact that the present doesn't exist doesn't really matter since no one who lives in it actually seems to want to live in it. It's a bit like the universe, really. Sometimes it may seem nice, but as soon as you have to live there, all you want to be is somewhere else. On the subject of magic, it is somewhat uncommon knowledge that magic is in fact real. That's not to say that people don't believe in magic. On the contrary, a great number of people believe in it. However, either the magic they believe in is utterly far-fetched, or the magic that they think they have proven to exist is actually just science pretending to be magic. This mistake is fairly easy for early civilizations to make. It's also noteworthy that magic has had some close calls with almost being discovered, but in those few cases, by pure coincidence, it was mistaken for science. A good example of this is last Thursday, but I've said too much already. It's worth noting that science and magic are not the same thing, but are two completely separate entities. Since magic is the second most powerful anything in the universe, it's vitally important that no living thing ever discover its secrets. This being the case, science is the perfect cover-up for real magic, which is much more difficult to spot. People can go around with their heads held high, telling themselves that they invented a vehicle that can travel through space, or they can explain how gravity warps time, or they're so close to unraveling the secrets of the universe because they finally figured out where their keys go every time they lose them. But there's still something greater out there that they're too busy being proud of themselves to notice. Thus, science and magic have quite the happy relationship, and even go out for coffee on the weekends sometimes. Nonetheless, despite their carefulness, the occasional being is born that experiences a certain paranoia. All intelligent life in the universe have it, a nagging feeling that there is something greater than you can possibly imagine, and you have no idea what it is. Many creatures try to hide from this feeling by busying themselves with trivial things like appearance, material possessions, and interactions with others. However, every now and again, someone is born who experiences this feeling, who embraces this feeling. These people exhibit signs of antisocialness and withdraw from the outside world, but are in fact unraveling the secrets of the universe as we speak. All right, this is the last time, I swear.
You go, David.
On the subject of nothing. Nothing is quite possibly the strangest sport in the universe, other than Ambrosian super tennis. Invented to make tennis a bit more interesting, super tennis involves using the ambrosia fruit as the ball, which is naturally elastic, and also very good at attracting Ambrosian hyperbears, which contestants have to avoid while trying to score more points than the opponent. Matches are frequently decided by whoever dies last. The strange part isn't so much the sport itself, but the fact that the sport has never left its planet of origin, Ambrosia 4. The sport of nothing, meanwhile, traveled the universe overnight in the day it was invented, which also happened to be the day that the first life form was created. Because of this, it has become well known as the most widely practiced sport, as well as the oldest sport in history. Some sports fans argue that nothing should not be considered the first sport, for various reasons. Some people say that nothing, by definition, is performed by all things, whether they know it's a sport or not. Others say that nothing, by definition, cannot possibly be performed by anything. Fans, casuals, and pros of nothing alike usually respond to these arguments by saying, "I'd rebuke you, but I'm too busy practicing right now." There are quite a few different ways to play nothing, mostly due to different interpretations within the community over how much purpose your activity is allowed to serve in order to be considered as nothing. By the strictest definition, the longest game of nothing was held between two early microorganisms, and it only lasted a few seconds. The winner died a few minutes after the game ended, partially due to a severe lack of digestive organs, or, for that matter, any organs. By the prize definition, the longest game of nothing is still going strong, and has been for about 200,000 years, on a small water-based planet about 93 million miles from its sun, in the most remote corner of the universe. Thank you.